Alana, we made it through the warm weekend here in Utah with hopefully a little of a break to come.
I feel like been there, done that, right? We had our records falling, but we are going to see heat building back when it comes to the Beehive State in the coming days. But when you see all those warnings across the country, you know, because we just felt it, they're dealing with that as well as humidity. Storms out there right now, Horn Mountain from Emery County showing those storms as we look towards the central portion of the state. Those storms on the move, they've bubbled up as we've increased moisture. Our area of high pressure, the Four Corners High, funneling that moisture into the Beehive State with the heating of the day. We capitalize on that in the last few hours. The West Desert, South Central Utah, and towards the basin, we've seen the most activity. As we look at the radar, it pinpoints exactly where those storms are right this moment. And as we get a little closer, you're able to see really towards Delta, west of Delta, and into the West Desert, that line of storms is producing a decent amount of lightning. Over I-70, we also have towards Richfield and Beaver County with the storms, and then we're starting to quiet over Grand Staircase. As we look towards the Uinta Basin and Duchesne County, we have a decent amount of lightning there. Also, active conditions have hung on in the southwestern portion of Wyoming. Flash flood potential did increase today to the possible category. Not a surprise. Some of these storms are slow movers, and if you're getting rain, well, you're getting a decent amount of it because we've been funneling moisture in since late Friday and into Saturday. Live view from Ensign Peak. Hazy conditions out there over the Salt Lake Valley. I love our ABC4 camera because it really shows what's going on, and we've talked about that wildfire smoke. Our futurecast smoke model shows that we've got hazy conditions throughout the state, but as we head into tonight, thicker plumes of smoke towards Cache Valley, into the Ogden Valley, as well as the West Desert into the Salt Lake Valley will be around for the overnight. Hazy conditions and compromised air quality. Hold on for your Tuesday. If you're sensitive to that, I hear you. Respiratory issues, in particular asthmatics, noticing this change with an influx of smoke getting through the weekend. Air quality tomorrow unhealthy for sensitive groups in Davis County and Salt Lake County because it's not just elevated particulate matter, it's also ozone. That's why moderate air is expected for the rest of northern Utah heading into tomorrow. You want to make sure you're not spending an extended amount of time during the heat of the day out there when those levels spike. Black Desert Sky Cam showing clouds in Washington County. I love this camera from Ivins because it shows the towering cumulus, and we have seen thunderstorms popping up in that portion of the state. It's 104 right now in St. George, 94 in Salt Lake, 90s on the eastern side of the state. Vernal warming. They were in the 80s because storms were overhead, and as they dry out, getting the heat back. As we head into our Tuesday, the setup with our high as it nudges slightly westward allows for additional moisture, and maybe we get a little bit of a disturbance kind of rotating around our ridge, which could add to thunderstorm activity. The general thunderstorm threat is there, so something to be aware of. As we look at our futurecast, it takes us through the rest of tonight. By 9-10 p.m., a few storms holding on towards Castle Country and the southern half of the state, also in Box Elder County. We lose the heating of the day, we quiet overnight, but we return to the same scene as we head into our Tuesday. West Desert, southern half of the state. Looks like we get a decent amount of moisture over towards Flaming Gorge and Vernal. Quieting, and then into Wednesday, same thing. So the threat of storms really holds on. The Wasatch Front stays fairly quiet, but you can't rule out the chance of an isolated storm. Flash flood potential for tomorrow holds on to the possible category in many locations, but excludes the extreme eastern portion of the state, with arches and canyonlands staying in the green. Now, storms aren't really the biggest headline because we're still being impacted by this high. You notice as it retrogrades, it's going to move back over Utah. That means that we are going to continue to see the heat and temperatures rising, not just in southern Utah, but in the north as well. Triple digits still in our future as that ridge of high pressure will impact the west yet again. High 90s for tomorrow. Storms in the southern half of the state. 106 in St. George with the potential of a thunderstorm really for the next 7 days. Peak heating as we roll into Saturday with a high of 109. Here's the Wasatch Front. Did you like triple digits? Because we serve you a few more of those. By the midweek, we get to 101. Notice we cool slightly, but the weekend and into next week, as that high makes its way back through the west, our temperatures spike yet again.
Oh, they do.
Wow. I know. I felt like I walked out today and I was like, low 90s, mid 90s. This feels great. Ooh. I shouldn't be saying that. Average is 95. We should be at average, but we've been above it.
Oh, boy.
We'll enjoy this while we
Yeah.
can. Thank you, Alana.